Okay, we got one from Big Tug about dating. Let's watch it.
Dating sucks. Like straight up, there's like zero good parts about it. Except maybe the sex, but that's been a huge maybe my entire romantic career. You know how it is, you go on a date, you sit across from a stranger.
I haven't dated for absolute years at this point, and hopefully I never have to again. It looks legitimately terrible, and the sex is just a moment of my life where I all of a sudden have to perform at something that I realize partway through that I don't actually know what I'm doing whatsoever, and that all of my examples that I'm holding in my brain of what it looks like are just from people who are significantly better at it than I am. And yeah, man, it's an entire insane experience. I used to imagine when I was a kid, I used to think about, I say kid, when I was like 21 years old, about how much easier it must be to just be one of those guys who's just like, whoa, dude, I can't, like, it was never me, you know?
Stranger and you order the cheapest bottle of Sauvignon Blanc because you want to appear fancy, and then you're just sitting across from what is essentially a hot stranger for about an hour,
yeah,
pretending to be anyone but yourself and just hoping you don't say something stupid.
It's so interesting, the idea of dating, this sort of dance that we do, this courtship that we do with each other in order to figure out whether or not we want to spend the rest of our lives together, when you're doing this like I want to impress you sort of thing, and usually it's brought on by your being attracted to the person who's across from you. And I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been actively pursuing someone really, really heavily, and then I have this moment about, I don't know, a few weeks in, maybe a month or two in, where I just go, oh, I don't even like this person. I'm just attracted to them. I can't stand them. I can't stand the things they say. I can't stand the way they think about things. I think that they are a problem to society. I'm done. And then it just cuts off in my brain.
The entire time. And then you get to the end of the night and you don't know whether you're supposed to lean in for a kiss or give them a hug, or God forbid they want you to come up and have sex with them. It's very stressful. My tummy hurts. My tummy hurts because it's so...
And I think this is a big part of the reason why people aren't dating today, and why you're seeing such lower rates of dating amongst Gen Zers and millennials, is because with the internet, everybody has really decided that they already know everything about the people who are around them. And whenever they see guys, they just make gross generalizations about them. And when guys see girls, they make gross generalizations about them, saying, oh, they just think they're hotter than they actually are. Oh, they probably have an OnlyFans. Oh, they probably like Donald Trump. Oh, and they just come up with all these reasons for why they hate people ahead of time, so they never actually try to get to know people. I think that one of the most interesting parts about mine and Tiff's relationship is that we have these kinds of conversations where we talk about things in a way that we are open to the concept of both ideas being right or both ideas being wrong, but we're just having a conversation about the ideas. Like, we can talk about Donald Trump in this house without one of us having to talk about how great Donald Trump is or how terrible he is. We can just have a conversation about the effect that he's having on the world, and that's something that most people don't want to be able to do anymore. And I'm so glad that I have that ability to do that, and that I don't have to just constantly go, oh yeah, he's terrible, he's stupid, he sucks, just to appease this sort of egoism that people seem to have about it.
Stressful. But not surprisingly, big tech companies took a gander at this weird aspect of human life and said, hey, how can we profit off of people's misery? It's
not that I'm a Donald Trump fan, by the way. I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
We haven't done this before. This is literally our entire game. I know. The dating app industry nets over $5 billion a year. Is that a correct number? Yes, which is not a small amount.
Never been on a dating app
Whether you love
before.
them or hate them, you probably use them, because over 50% of Americans under 30 are using dating apps. But today we're standing up against Tinder, Binge, and Bumble.
I mean, even if you're not using dating apps, if you're scrolling the internet looking at people of the opposite gender, if you're swiping up and looking for videos of people who you find attractive in any kind of way, you're sort of doing the same thing. You have less of a chance with those people than you do with the people in the dating apps, which are saying something, but you are doing the same thing. I was talking today to somebody about the fact that those like small time indie pornographers, for lack of a better term here, OnlyFans girls, people like that, the people who are posting videos on like Hub and stuff like that, the people who are commenting on those videos or who are talking to those people genuinely believe they have a shot with those people. They might pitch it as if they don't believe that, but they would not be there if they didn't believe that. They would not be leaving comments. They would not be trying to get that person's attention if they didn't think somewhere in the back of their brain that this might lead to something. And just the mental unwellness amongst people in the world currently because of the way that the internet has programmed us is so insane. The slow discovery of oneself that you have through living a life where you interact with other human beings and you slowly put together this advanced human consciousness is almost no more at this point. It is assumed that everyone knows everything already because the information is just out there, but the lack of understanding of what that information is really creates a cognitive dissonance that is so heavy in society, and especially the American society currently, that young people just feel absolutely cut off. It is bizarre. People just want to sit inside their homes and play video games or watch Andrew Tate or, make posts on Facebook borderline role-playing and cosplaying. It's very, very strange what's going on in the world currently.
I'm going to prove to you that dating apps are ineffective and bad for your brain, and
Yeah,
then you're going to stop
obviously.
using them, and you're going to go outside and you're going to meet a nice young lady. Or
You'll
a nice
never
young
meet
man, or
anybody.
a nice young
Don't try.
whatever the fuck. Because it's rotting our brains.
If I would ever find myself alone again in life, I would never get with someone again. I would be alone forever.
Real quick, I just want to make a note that
I would hang out with my friends whenever they were available, and I would just grind.
girlfriend, and I did not meet her on a dating app. I just didn't want to give off any vibes in this video. I love her so much. Don't f***ing DM me. So a little history. Yeah. Back in 2009, Grindr was the first app to combine dating with geolocation. Kind of like how the US government was the first ones to combine vaccines with geolocation. If you don't know, Grindr is a dating app specifically for gay men for casual hookups, I think, or dating.
Dude, they would just go in there. Grindr was the first time that, and we were all amazed by this as the straight community. We were all really surprised by this because it turns out that gay men were totally okay with just having random casual hookup sex with each other, and straight men everywhere were jealous. They were no straight men ever wanted to be gay more than when we found out about Grindr and we realized that people were just getting their dick sucked at a moment's notice, just walking off the side of the street. They were just on their phone, and then all of a sudden, I'll be right back, dude, and just go into an alley and then come back out in a much better mood.
They find relationships now? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Christ, Tucker, methinks the lady protests too much. But just like slang in fashion, heteros took this queer idea and made it mainstream for themselves. Well, Tucker, just a few minutes into the video and we already hit our liberal quota for the day. Nice. This stealing of ideas led us to Tinder, which is now the most used dating app of today with over 530 million downloads. But many
I have friends who have used Tinder, and I've heard only so many bad things about it. I've only seen, and this isn't necessarily true, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but I have only seen bad relationships come from Tinder or hookups that leave one or both parties feeling empty. I have never heard of anything good coming from Tinder from any of my friends who have used it. I have seen people drive 5 hours one way to hang out with a girl who they think there's actually something going, and they realize 6 months into this relationship that she has multiple people doing this to them. I have seen people, go and hook up with somebody only to find out that he has a wife and that he's on here and she's, just all kinds of things. Very interesting situations that are coming from Tinder. I would never try to meet people that way because I would be absolutely terrible at cold opening with someone who I've never met before online. That would not do well for me. But I just can't imagine the life that people, how difficult it must be to have that cold, harsh reality. Men swipe right on like 55% of people. Women only swipe right on like 5% of people or something. So it's really disheartening the way that people are trying to find love nowadays, if they are even trying to find love. I don't even know if people know what love would be to find it anymore.
Dating apps still use Grindr's approach of tapping into niche markets. For example, we have Raya, or what it doesn't matter how you pronounce it because me and you are never going to use this product. Raya is an exclusive dating app that caters to, I'm trying to think of a good word for these people, the delusional. And by delusional, I mean like celebrities, influencers, the ultra rich. I think Benny Boy was on there for a hot minute. Basically, it's like Tinder, but for the Illuminati. Only 8% of applicants actually get to use the app, which harkens back to that statement I made about me and you never using it ever. You literally have better odds of getting into Harvard Business School than you do getting into Raya, which makes zero sense. There's lists of celebrities that have used this app, but they're really just the tip of the iceberg. They're the public-facing part that is not the majority.
Raya is basically a place for people who are actual celebrities to find significant others others that have around 6,000 Instagram followers online. That's what people are doing with it. That's the purpose.
Mostly you'll find local newscasters, men bragging about their yachts, and girls who want to bang Formula Bachelor contestants, which does seem like kind of a good time, I'm not gonna lie. Imagine having sex with a local newscaster.
Yeah. I have a friend who did that one time. It turned out that he was actually being paid for it. He had no idea. At the end, he was like, oh, I'm a prostitute. I didn't know.
Just in, I'm about to come. I don't know. Then we got Bumble. Bumble is pretty much the same exact thing as Tinder, except for one key difference. Men cannot make the first move, which is an amazing concept. After you match, the women have to send the first message. And since exactly 56% of women online have received unsolicited, sexually explicit messages on dating sites, this is a welcome feature. And you can't blame them. Quick side note, if you are an owner of a penis...
I can't imagine... I mean, not that anyone needs to say just don't do that, but just, dude, like... You're not even good at taking a picture of your dick. You're not. It looks bad. Look at those Drake pictures. Those are good pictures of dicks. You can't do that. You don't have the length or the girth for it, my friend. Stop sending them unsolicited. They're grainy. They're off-putting. Nobody wants to see them. That's just the truth of it all, you know? Like, you don't have a good one. You wish you did. You've watched too many videos of people with good ones. Just don't send them.
Stop sending pictures of it to people. Stop taking pictures of it. No one, I can't think of one situation where someone's like, it's Sunday, I might need a little penis pic. No one wants that. Actually, Bumble uses AI technology to identify and censor dick pics when they're sent, which is hilarious. The girl first approach also works out for men because one, we get to be lazy. We don't have to put in the effort in the beginning, which is really nice. And two, we don't have to throw a hey, how are you, and get nothing back, which is so confusing because you already matched me. You already matched me. Why would you not respond to me when I said something? Was it not good enough? Am I not good enough? I have a girlfriend, right?
People, I assume, match you because they are just throwing you in the maybe pile, but that's just the first level of sort. That's what I think is probably going on. Just knowing is this really sponsored by Adam and Eve? It uses the code Tug, bro. That's so funny. That's so meta. I appreciate that, dude. But no, I assume that people are using it as a pre-sort. They're just going through the list of applicants and they're all throwing them in the maybe, but that doesn't mean that they're going to talk to you. That doesn't mean they're interested in you. You think men swipe right on 55% of women. You're not actually interested in dating those 55% of women. You're just hoping that one of them messages you.
Right now, I currently have a girlfriend, so I'm not worried about it, but I'm just saying that was a hard part of my life. Then getting further into the niche market, we have Bristler, which is Tinder for bearded men. Seems a little specific, but everyone has a fetish. Today, Bristler has over 10,000 users, and they all kind of look like me a little bit. In essence, this is just an app for people who can't eat powdered donuts or soup correctly, and that just seems like a waste of time. But
I used to have such a long beard. My beard used to be down to here. My mustache was huge, and I had to pull up my mustache with my lip whenever I would eat something.
Their own. A little bit more niche, but a bit more famous. We have FarmersOnly.com. This blew up in the early 2010s because they had commercials of farmers wanting to f each other. If you can't guess, FarmersOnly.com is a place for people to meet that have inflation fetishes. Sorry, wrong list. It's for farmers. But I also discovered during my research that you don't have to be a farmer to join FarmersOnly.com.
It's literally called Farmers Only. It doesn't make any sense.
Which seems counterintuitive. I mean, what are we doing at that point?
What are the farmers? Maybe it's people who are looking for farmers too. But then what if you find people who aren't farmers who also signed up and that's who you get? It doesn't. Why go there, you know?
Why wouldn't you just use Tinder? If I was a farmer and I matched with like a day trader, I'd be a little pissed, honestly. I'm looking for someone with dummy strength and loves violent parts of the Bible, not someone with soft hands and a 401.
I was just talking about violent parts of the Bible earlier. Bro, they shaved Samson's head. And then he prayed to God for the strength to kill all of them. And he pulled down pillars and killed. It's wild, dude.
Okay. The official slogan for FarmersOnly.com is City
His
folk
strength
don't
was
get
in
it.
his
I'd like
long
to propose
hair.
a new slogan.
And yet I was gay for having long hair whenever I was in church.
Buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free. Is that sexist? I feel like that's sexist. And finally, we have Christian Mingle, a place where Christian singles can bring Jesus into the bedroom. Now, I can sit here all day and bash on Christians, as I am wont to do. But honestly, if you're by the book Christian, dating in the modern era must be an absolute nightmare. Hookup culture, liberal women with
totally. It is. I think it must be astounding. You would have to find people either within your church or within other churches, but even that would be a crapshoot. I knew a family growing up who had all girls, like 4 or 5 girls, and one of them ended up marrying someone from Ireland because that's how far they had to go away to find someone with Christian values. So, it's pretty intense.
Choose little peep lyrics and bios. So all the power to those men out there who are looking for exactly what they want using the means that they have available to them. And if you're a lady looking for a holy hubby, I suggest just going to Grindr, because there's all types of religious leaders and Bible-thumping politicians on there. I'm sorry. I can't turn it off. I cannot stop. Whoa, looks like we need to cool off with an ad break. Run it, Tucker. I'd like to give a shout out to Adam and Eve for sponsoring today's video.
Am I the only one who's really underwhelmed by sex toys in general? I always, I've been known to be a little frisky in my day. And I just find these kinds of websites to be very underwhelming. It's never, it doesn't look like there's anything technologically that I'm really that interested in.
They've got all kinds of saucy little treats for people who found their soulmate on a dating app. Or for those of you who have been ghosted so many times that it's starting to feel like a haunted house and you just need a little tender love and care. They've been in business for over 50 years, so you know they're doing something right. How many marriages do you know that started on dating apps that can go toe-to-toe with those numbers? None. That's right. They offer a 90-day no-hassle return policy as well as discreet packaging when it's delivered to your house, which is more than I can say about some of your DMs. Let's all take a page out of Adam and Eve's book of discretion before we hit send on something like this. What is that? So give your poor fingers a break from swiping left and from, use code TUG for 50% off one item.
I mean, I guess you could.
Shipping in the US and Canada. I love that my username can be fit perfectly into an Adam and Eve ad. Thank you. So on the surface, it seems like dating apps are working. According to recent studies, most relationships nowadays start from dating apps or just meeting online. But as we all know, data...
That is how Tiff and I met each other. Is from online. I mean, we knew the same people. This is like a decade plus ago, and we just met each other through Twitter.
Can be misleading.
I was pretty cool on Twitter back in the day, dude. If I'm gonna be real honest with you guys, I would say some wild shit out there. You know what I mean? I had to delete that thing because. Man, it got too dicey a couple years back. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I was saying things in humor. It was a joke. I was always just having a good time. Me and my friends were getting up to no good. At one point, this gay guy that we knew was getting terrorized by bullies up at Marshall, and so I remember one of my friends told them that they could lay down by the fire together and read the Bible to the people who were bullying this person. We have discovered a long time ago that if you find people who are homophobic, the best thing you can do is be as homoerotic to them as absolute possible, but also mix in their belief set into it. If they're homophobic, you can guess that they probably like guns, they're probably into hunting and the Bible and all those things, so mix that in, bro. Be like, let's go on a camping trip together, brother. We can cuddle underneath my camo blanket. Just do shit like that. It throws them off.
That data also correlates with increased technology in our lives.
But that was my Twitter life, was just finding disenfranchised people who were being taken advantage of and then saying unbelievable things to the people who were saying mean things to them.
That makes sense. Like 50% of Americans...
I've learned my lesson. That's not a good way to be as a person, but it was fun.
Admit they're addicted to their phone. So by that logic, if you're staring at a light box for 12 hours a day, you might as well try and get laid in the meantime. Having Tinder is just another...
I do think about all the time how being on my phone is such an addiction that I'm trying to find things to do on my phone that are good for me. That it's so dumb. If I would just put it down and go do something else, I would be significantly happier, but I just can't get off of the fucking thing.
Excuse to scroll and judge people, really. It's bringing us closer to our phones, but...
I hate looking at Reels. I don't know why I continue to go over to Reels and swipe up through them.
Is it bringing us closer together? Hi guys, today we're going to be going over Corinthians. Crack open those Bibles and grab a Sprite from the fridge. So I've compiled a bunch of data, and I'm going to let the numbers do the talking, okay? Up first, we got the match data. Tinder likes to boast that it's made over 2 billion matches. How much? No, 20 billion matches.
Wow.
Okay, which is a shockingly large number, but bragging about 20 billion matches is like bragging about having 20 million condoms. You and I both know most of those aren't going to be useful. Less than 2% of all matches actually end up going on a date. Go figure. It takes approximately 3,960 swipes to find a significant other. So quick math in my head that I definitely did beforehand.
Just crank them out, man. Just take the next 3 days of your life and like a good RuneScape player, just sit there and just grind out your 3,960 60. Maybe go into the 7,000s just in case you get really bad RNG, but just grind out all your swipes. That's what my brain goes to immediately. I'm calling in for work for the next 3 days. I've got to swipe on Tinder for
if
like
you spent
72
6
hours
hours
straight.
on your dating app per week, it would take 8 months to find a partner. So if you really
Okay, 8 months, 6 hours per week, though. Oh, that's rookie numbers. We're talking, per month then. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24. 24 times 8 is what? 100 and 212, something
you want
like
to get
that.
what you want, you're gonna have to put the work in. But anything beats going
Doing
outside
12
and
hours.
talking to
You need like a
someone
week and a half.
IRL. F that. I'm gonna stay not AFK. Am I right, kids? I'm not going analog style on this. I'm gonna talk to people on the internet. That's how it's all about. Once again, I have a girlfriend. Data point numero 2, ghosting.
Yeah, just don't try to connect with people over the internet is the thing that I've really learned. I mean, there are definitely places that you can do it, and it can work out over a long period of time. And especially with the boys can connect really well on the internet. But trying to find a significant other, you have to take that into the real world. And professional relationships, you also need to take into the real world at some point. Now, the boys is an easy thing to do, man. If I see you and you've been working out and you post a photo of your shoulders being big, I'm going to tell you your shoulders look big, and we're going to become friends very quickly. That's how that works. That's an easy one. It's a lot harder to do the non-friend relationships.
Thing happens, you guys know what ghosting is, right? That thing that you do when you decide the person you've been talking to on the internet for weeks is just not a real person. They're just like a robot, and you're not going to treat them like a human. Well, sadly, this little move of not showing up and not explaining why is
Yeah, this is what I realized that I did I don't know what happened in my brain. I got really, really busy with the whole working and school thing, and I just was like, oh, the YouTube videos are the thing that doesn't directly monetarily or education-wise benefit me right now, so I'm just going to stop doing it. And I didn't even think about the fact that you guys are on the other side of the internet. And I was just like, fuck this shit, I'm out, and just left. I'm sorry, guys. I won't have it
a
again.
little bit more common, not in small part due to dating apps. A survey of Gen Z and millennials has shown that 84% of them have been ghosted at
You guys are people, and you deserve to be treated as such. I apologize.
in their lives. Talk about phasmophobia. And 2/3 of those people believe that ghosting is a byproduct of online dating. I'm not going to argue with them. That seems like sound science. It's a lot easier to ghost someone that you've actually never met. Have you ever tried to actually ghost like your girlfriend? They do not like that. They do not like that. Data set number 3.
Sometimes I just go vacant, dude. I have ghosted people that I know in real life multiple times. I'm the king of that. Usually friends, but I've definitely done that before. In the words of Aesop Rock, I'm notably known to go from homie to bogey to ghost. Sorry if you know me as both.
Divorce. This one's a little less fun. There are over 1 million Tinder marriages every year. You know, when people get married because of the internet. But the odds are not in their favor. Married couples who meet online are weirdly much more prominent in the divorce department. According to this, they're a lot more likely to divorce within the first 3 years.
Well, I could see that because you're probably getting married a lot faster, because if you're on the internet looking for someone to marry, then you're probably trying to speed that along, which means that you would make mistakes in who you choose to be your partner, and mistakes in who you choose to be your partner lead to divorce. That's how that happens. So I could easily see that being the truth.
Years than a traditional couple that met like at a bar or at work or whatever the hell. Researchers believe.
Don't be in a hurry to get anywhere in life is the thing that I would really take away from this video. Don't be in a hurry to get into a relationship. Whenever people, as someone who has been in the kind of sort of relationship thing for 10 years now, I would tell you that, if you're single, bro, like, count your blessings.
This is due to lack of social capital.
There's a lot of side quests I go on that you never have to, and you are lucky for that, my friend. You've beaten Elden Ring. I have not.
Term to say that these people don't have a shared group of friends or like a community that can bolster them up during the married part of
If you get in a relationship, you will find yourself doing all kinds of wild shit that you never thought you were going to do. You will make a budget. You'll be out here trying to figure out what's for dinner with somebody else. You'll know everybody. It's just a whole bunch of just don't worry about it, man. It's not what you think it is. Hang out with your bros, get some roommates, dude. Start a band, do something like that. Go to church. I don't care. Just
and also,
count your
the app
blessings.
they met on Tinder might also have a big part in the fact that they get divorced. Over 65% of Tinder users are already in a relationship or married. That cannot be true. That cannot be.
That's crazy.
That's horrifying. That's not real. I'm sure there's a plausible explanation for that. Tell me that's not real. Tell me that many people are not cheating. Oh my god. Oh my god. And finally, we got
Yeah, I've heard some things about the cheating epidemic in America. One day I'll make a video about that.
data set number 4, which is addiction. Less fun than divorce, actually. Dating apps are shocking.
Yeah, I saw a video the other day about how addiction is the thing that's running the world's economy in general now. That basically people aren't even being marketed to so much as that they are being supplied with the drug that they are addicted to, whether it be nicotine, caffeine, whether it be the dopamine from the apps that they're on, whether it be the food that they're eating. It's all just based around what you're addicted to and what you can't get enough of. And that's such a bizarre thing to think about, but I totally see that being true. The status that you get from buying a new car, that's part of an addiction. That our entire economy, the way that money moves around, is all derived from what people need to feel good.
Shockingly addictive, turns out. Who knew that playing God with people's sense of love would have a jazzy effect on your dopamine receptors? The parent app of Tinder was actually sued over claims that they made it a purposely addictive app. The lawsuit claims that dating apps are designed with game-like features that trap users into...
Yeah, it is interesting, the idea that you can't make something that has good app design anymore because it is too addictive. But you want someone to use your app. Am I just supposed to have a terrible UI that nobody wants to use and only serves a purpose? We did that in the early 2000s and the 90s, and nobody used computers and people were blocked out of it. We're trying to make it more accessible, so we make it easier to use, and making it easier to use makes your brain addicted to it. That's this battle that you have to do. I hate... One thing that really gets on my nerves is putting the responsibility in the hands of the companies. The responsibility is yours as a person to understand yourself and what you can and can't handle. Just because you think that you should have unfettered access to your phone all day long and never have to be like, oh, I should put this down for a couple of hours, that says more about you than it does about the apps on your phone. If those apps were not so addictive, you wouldn't want to be on there as much. Like, you need to understand what your brain is doing, and you need to take steps to keep yourself away from doing that thing if you don't like doing it. It's so odd that we're like, companies can't make good products because we want to use them too bad. Yeah, dude, you're an adult. Figure it out. Stop using it so much.
The cycle plays off of the dopamine center of our brain that releases...
A good example of this. So, I Instacart, right? So I do some Instacarting. And, that app is super addictive. I can't explain to you that when I have days off of Instacart, I sit around and think about turning that app on. The way it gamifies making money, and it's not even that good at making money, but it just, you see the number go up so easily, you can put it into your account so quickly. They have all these little boosts and things that you try to play. It's almost like a little bit of a slot machine, but with direct earnings regularly. You don't have to put any money in, you just put your time in, and you get direct money out of it. And the randomness of the batches, all those kinds of things. It's an addictive app. So when I'm not working, I make sure that I tell myself, you're not going to turn this app on today. You're taking the day off. You're going to sit here. The same way that if I have a problem with another app, say Instagram or YouTube or whatever, I say, you're not going to do this today. Right now, I'm not using the Zens except for 2 times a day as my maximum. I haven't used a single one a day. It's 5:30 right now, and I was using 8 or 9 of them a day. You have to take control of yourself. I know that that's an unfortunate thing, and I know that a lot of us don't have the skills built in to take control of ourselves, but that's part of your responsibility as a human being to get better at those things. It really is. I hate it for us too. It's unfortunate that we are relying on the wisdom and the self-respect, it's not the term I'm looking for here, the discipline of the general population, because I know that in general, the general population isn't very good at those things, but that's the part of being human that you have to train. That's the part that leads you to success. Until you get a hold of yourself, the person that you hang out with every day, that person in the mirror, you will never find what you want to out of life. It doesn't matter if these companies exist or not. It doesn't matter. You won't figure out what's going on with you. You will be someone rolling in the dirt until you figure out how to control yourself.
This is fun chemicals whenever you actually get a match on Tinder. The company denies these allegations, but the top 10% of users give them 53% of their revenue. So, you know, Not a good look for the Tinder boys. There you go. That's dating apps as in a nutshell. I would suggest not using them. Just go
Yeah.
outside and meet somebody. That's really hard.
Go get a job somewhere. If you really want to meet somebody, figure out places that people like the people you want to meet work, and then go get a job there. That sounds really insane, but like, go get a part-time job at Target after you get off work. Work from 6 till 10 o'clock at night. Go work at a cool restaurant in town. Become a waiter. You will meet people. It's not that hard. Trust me. They are out there. And if you are a remotely decent to put together person, people are looking for someone who's decent, and they're looking to meet them in real life. They want to have that magical movie type moment. So just go get a job, dude. That's the best way to meet someone. Go get a job.
You know, friends of friends are easily fucked. Oh God, I've been really upset with myself this whole video.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I hate to say it too. It's really, really strange, but all of the situations that I found myself in with partners have been because I've had some kind of link to those people. It's very rarely ever, I don't think it has ever been a stranger that I've ever hooked up with in my lifetime. I'm pretty sure that it's always been someone who I met forever ago, and we always had this little chemistry thing, but then there was never a time, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. That's how it's always worked out. So, I mean, you know, just live your life, man. Stop trying to get a girlfriend too. Stop trying to get a boyfriend. You don't need one. It's dumb. It's a weird programming in our brain that's trying to take over. And you can play way more video games by yourself. You can read way more smut books alone.
Have friends, then yes, use dating apps. But even then, you're rolling the dice every time, especially if you're a woman. You don't know who you're going to go
Yeah,
meet. They
dude.
could be murderers. So, you know,
Terrifying.
just don't meet people. That's what I'm going to say for the end of this video.
Go become a
New videos
servant.
every Saturday. And
It was a good video. I like Big Tug. I hope to watch more of his videos over time. Thanks for watching, fellas. And get off those dating apps, man. Get off that phone. Don't get off that phone. Keep watching this. I'm afraid I got rid of one of my regular viewers by telling people to get off their phones. Don't get off your phone. Stay here. Watch me.